blessings to you. This is Jovhannah, creator of Healing Single Mothers, and I'm very excited because I get to have a little time live here today, and it's my birthday, so I'm really excited and looking forward to celebrating a little bit. I've kind of been spoiling myself this month and got myself some new decks. So if you don't know, I am a spiritual healer and advisor, and one of my favorite tools to work with I use a lot of oracle cards and tarot cards, in addition to crystals and other energy healing techniques. And so I spoiled myself and got myself some new decks. It just kind of took some time off, which is very nice. So I've been enjoying my day. It's been off to a very great start. So today I'm going to be pulling a card or two just to give you some inspiration for the week. I started doing daily Momspiration, and then school started and my entire schedule shifted, so I'm trying to get back into the groove of showing up here a little more live. So what's been happening? I've been working on content and getting the community ready for new members, and also I will be doing some new moon healing circles. So the first one that's coming up is going to be October the 18th. And why I chose the new moon is because it's a time for clearing. It's also a time when a lot of stuff comes up because we are in the dark of the moon. Hi, thank you for joining me. And it's just a time where we can focus on clearing and releasing. I notice during that time of the moon cycle is when I might not be feeling my best, and a lot of things come up, and it lets me know what I need to focus on clearing. So I just thought it would be good for us to gather and we can go through some meditations. I'll do a little bit of Reiki and card readings for us on the call, which will be really great. So I do hope that you join me. You can check the link in my bio and sign up. You'll just need to enter your name and your email address, and that is that. So the card that I've pulled for this week's Momspiration is Mama Kia, and it's all about honoring the flow, which I think is very beautiful. And it says, I welcome new life into mine. I am in the flow. And what I really like, did you need me? Huh? Okay. What I really like about this is that this is all about creating. And one of the things that I say that I am here to do through Healing Single Mothers is to really help single mothers live abundantly ever after. And I feel like this card is just confirming that, because it's welcoming new life into yours. And oftentimes, especially because things change so much, and maybe, becoming a single mother was not on your to-do list like mine. That was not the goal for me, but that's what happened. And so, I had to adjust to that. But now it's like, okay, I'm ready to take it to the next level. I want to be my best. I want to welcome love into my life. I want to bring in security, abundance, safety, maybe, whatever your goals may be. Maybe you want to go back to school, you want to buy a house, you want to start dating again. It's welcoming in something new for yourself. And for me, this time of the year always feels like a very New Year energy, because, it's around my birthday. We're moving into the fall, which is that time where I just do a lot of reflection. I'm very much quiet. Because when we go into the winter, there's nothing. It's cold. There's not a lot of sun. So fall is like what I think of as like cutoff season. It's like, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? Looking back on the first half of the year, how was that? Were you showing up for yourself? Were you stressed? What were you stressed about? What changes do you want to see in your life? Did you reach the goals that you set for yourself? And if not, that's okay, because you can still welcome that newness into your life now. It's not over. Every day is a new day to start again, to try again, to keep going. And the key is that you don't give up. What happens is, when you want to change something, it takes time. It takes showing up consistently. Even if it's just like a baby step, it still counts. And you continue moving in the right direction with the intention that you are calling in something new, that you are hitting reset, that you're no longer going to continue to settle for the same things that you've been receiving in your life. And so there's this growth and transformation that can happen. And it starts really just by being open to it. And I really love this energy because a lot of times, especially when it comes around the topic of relationships or dating, a lot of single moms that I have spoken to are like, nope, I'm good. I don't want to date. I'm just going to be single. I'm going to focus on my kids, and that's it. And that's fine. But I don't believe that anybody truly wants to be alone for the rest of their life. And I think it's easier to close ourselves off and say, I don't even want to go there because you've been hurt. And you have so many responsibilities. There's a lot of different stigmas that go along with being a single mother. And so it can be easier just to shut down and close your heart versus saying, I'm going to try again. And with this, this is just putting you in the mindset of being open that there can be a new way of life. There can be new love. There can be new beginnings. There can be new ideas, new goals, new everything. And getting in alignment with what it is that you say you want for yourself. So for me, one of the things that I have really been thinking about is I really want to buy a house. I kind of want to move. I was thinking about moving closer towards the beach, but I'm not quite sure. But I know that if I want to buy a house, I have to start taking actions towards that. Okay, getting clear on what type of house do I want? What is my credit looking like? What do I need to do? What realtor do I want to work with? So there's certain steps that I need to start taking in order to make it happen. And I think often we get into these spaces when we think about manifesting or creating what we want, where we think, okay, I'm just going to pray for it. I'm going to wish on it. I'm going to just keep hoping for it. But we're not taking any action towards it. The Bible said faith without works is dead. If, you write down, what does that quote? A goal without a deadline is just a wish. So yes, you have the intention, you pray about it, you meditate, you keep hope alive, you keep believing in it, but you're also having to take steps and work towards it. Because if you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything. And that's what being in flow is about. It's saying, okay, this is what I want for myself. I'm going to align myself with it, which means I'm going to believe in it and I'm going to take actions towards it. And I'm going to be open to the possibilities that are going to come to me, because sometimes what we want doesn't show up in the same way that we think it is, because we have our plan and then sometimes God or spirit has an even bigger plan. So maybe I'm like, okay, maybe I would just want a townhouse. And what's in the plan for me is to have a bigger house, a massive estate, this big dream home that's bigger than anything I could have, imagined. So we have to keep space for spirit to work in our lives. We have to keep space to believe in something bigger than what we see right now. Because if we look around us and only believe okay, this is my life, we keep ourselves contained in what's called the comfort zone. The people that are around us, the same things, the same routine, the same job, the same this, the same that dulls our senses. And then, we don't have that same vision and creative wildness that children have, because they can dream up, I'm going to jump on a rocket ship and I'm going to the moon, and they're just having a blast. But meanwhile, we sit around and we think what we see is the only reality that exists. But there is more and there is better. And that's why I'm always talking about abundantly ever after. What does that look like? To me, abundantly ever after means that I'm secure. I have the love that I want, the success, the joy, the bliss, the health, all of that. I don't just want it to be happy. I want abundance in all areas of my life. I want the cups to overflow, to run over. I want to have enough so that I can help others. I just want more for myself. And that's the same energy that I want to put into the hearts and minds of other single mothers, because we don't have to settle. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to be single forever. We can live life. We can take care of ourselves. We can love ourselves. We can love our children. And we can do it from an elevated place, from a beautiful place where we're not feeling, abandonment, pain, guilt, shame, anger, or frustration. There's so much more. And I know this because about 10 years ago, or maybe over 10 years ago now, but I was in a place where like life to me had ended completely. I was dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety, working through the challenges of being in an abusive relationship and having like just everything fall apart. And now I'm doing the things that I was dreaming about then. I'm in a different space. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm healed. And now it's like, but now I want more. I want the next level of abundance. And what does that look like for me? So that's what I'm going to be working on. And with this card, honoring the flow, it's time to honor that and look at the things that you say that you want for yourself and get into alignment with it. What is it that you want? Are you doing the things that you need to do in order to get what it is that you want? And if you're not, then how can you be open to it? And how can you start to honor that within yourself? And also how we show up in the world. So here's another thing. So oftentimes we can be surrounded by people who don't hold the same vision or beliefs that we have about ourselves, right? So maybe your family is around you, maybe they're not supportive and they just see you and they think, oh, poor little tink tink. And you start to feel that energy. You need to get around people who can see the best in you, who can hold space for the same vision that you have for yourself, and who see you outside of your mistakes, right? Sometimes our family, because they know us, they know all of the little mistakes that we made, all of this and all of that, and that's who they see you as. They don't see you as yourself who has grown up. They still might see you as like, young you who was doing young things because you were young, but now you're in a different mindset. And now you're trying to get yourself into a different place, but you're constantly being reminded of who you used to be. So it's very important that you start to surround yourself with people who can see you as you are and as who you are working on becoming, so that you don't get trapped back into that little box or to those little expectations of what the people who think they know you think about you. And so that's why I'm really big on community. I'm really big on support, and I'm putting together this community where we can have that and we can do that together. Yes, story of my life currently. I totally understand. I have been there. And unfortunately, I think that is a lot of people's stories. And sometimes we just have to realize that people, like the people that we love the most, sometimes will not see us the way that we need them to. And so we have to keep doing what we need to do and reminding ourselves of who we are, why we're here, what we're trying to do, what we came to do, and not allow other people's beliefs or expectations to cage us in, because that's what keeps so many people stuck. It's not even necessarily ourselves, it's what we think about. Oh my gosh, girl. I moved in with my parents, and it was hell. It was hell. Same thing. Like it was, my heart goes out to you. I know what you are going through. And I had to make some really big changes. So it was crazy. But I was like, you know what? I can't do this. Like I can't live in this space and focus on my business. Because I'm an entrepreneur also and a mom, and it's just like, you need to get a job. And I'm like, I make money in my business. And so I stayed back with my parents for, I think, a year. And I was like, I can't. This is not helping me. It's causing me more harm than it is. So I made it work. I had an office space, and I decided to just close my office space and see clients virtually, so that I didn't have to lean on them for like childcare. And that way I saved a little more money instead of paying for an office space. And I moved, and that helped me springboard myself. And yeah, so I am sending you an abundance of love and peace, because I know what you are going through. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how our parents treat us. When I had my first child, I had just turned 20. So she is now a college freshman. And so in their minds, like I had just messed my entire life up and all of that. And that's great. You have a goal and you're like, I'm giving myself a year. And that's what I did, because I was like, I wanted to get my business up and running. That would give me time, to focus on that. So that's really good. Stay focused and keep your eye on the prize. And I hope that everything works out and that your business is successful and stable, so that you can move forward into the next phase. And that kind of goes into what we were talking about, like being in alignment. Like, you know what it is that you're trying to do. You've got a deadline set and you're like, I'm going to get this thing going so that I can do what I need to do. And it's good that you recognize, like, it's not necessarily you, it's just how other people see you. But just don't let that keep you caged in, because that's where I find a lot of people stay stuck, because the people around them only see them in this one way. And so you start to believe, oh, well, that must be who I am. And even though we're adults and we know, like, I'm not that person, there's still like that inner child, and then just those beliefs, because it's familiar to us. So it makes it harder to grow and to shift your beliefs. And that's why I'm really big too on like self-love and putting yourself first, because when we don't, everyone suffers. We suffer, our goals suffer, our children suffer. So we definitely have to start taking care of ourselves and looking at self-love as even like as a spiritual practice, but more than just like, okay, I look good on the outside, but like, how am I dealing with the frustrations? How am I taking care of myself emotionally and mentally and spiritually? Because when people are like dumping on you, like their beliefs about you and all of these things, like how are you refilling yourself when other people are draining you, so that you can, so that you can be present and be happy and have that additional energy to serve your children and to show up at work and to take care of your clients and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot. And I will say that, being a single mother just makes it even, that's great. That's something that I want to go back and I think therapy is awesome. I think everybody needs to see a therapist at least once in their life. Because it's great to have an objective space where you can vent and you can get out the things that you're talking about. So that is great self-care and soul care, that I truly recommend. And I believe that everyone needs to see a therapist or counselor of some kind. But yeah, we have to start taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first. And oftentimes, I see, especially as single moms, like we want to put everything. Our children have to come first. We put our lives on hold. And I get it. And that can be detrimental, because then we start to forget who we are. We start to lose connection with ourselves. We, start to kind of lose our identity. And we can't do that, because that's not living. We want to be able to be ourselves and be a mother. We want to be ourselves and, run a business. We want to be ourselves and do all these other things, and not let those things necessarily become who we are. And so that's something that I wrestled with, especially after having my first child, because it's like, oh, you're a mom. Like, I was still young, so I still wanted to like have friends, and I just thought like everything was bad, and I just had to sit in the house and, be a mom all day. And so I had to find that balance between like, it's still okay to have friends and to have fun and be a mom. And now that, I'm older, so the second time around, so my youngest is now 5, so she's in kindergarten, and my oldest is a college freshman. So it was definitely interesting, but just knowing like, no, I'm very unapologetic about, I need time for myself. And I need to do things that make me happy, whether it's painting, shopping, going to the nail salon, going for walks, like whatever it is. I'm very unapologetic about, hey, I need time for me, because I need to do stuff that's good for me. And I remember like, my mom would always be like, oh, well, that's selfish and you're a parent. And I'm like, yeah, and if you want me to be a good one, I need some quiet time. So are you babysitting or no? So we just have to be very unapologetic about making space to do things that feed our souls. And sometimes it can be just for you. It doesn't have to be like, family time all the time. Like sometimes I just want time for myself. And then other times, like, yeah, like let's do things together because that feels good too. But if you need time for yourself, don't feel bad about taking it. Don't feel bad about taking it. But I am going to hop off now because I'm sure I need to help Savvy with something. It does not sound like she's doing school, and she should be. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that I can show up a little bit more for you. And yeah, she's definitely not doing school. She's coming to say hi.
Hi.
And just remember to honor the flow and to welcome newness into your life, because that's what it's all about. It's about growth and changing and allowing ourselves to evolve and go to the next level. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
See you in the next video.